Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another video brought to you by SeniorCatWellness.com. Today, we'll be discussing a cat's meow and why the tone and general sound of a cat's meow can change. While sometimes the change is very subtle and over a long period of time, in other occurrences, it can be almost instant and then just go right back to normal within seconds. What are the causes? Is this a serious issue or just nothing to worry about? Before we begin, let's take a look at today's topic overview. Laryngitis, an inflammation of the larynx, is one of the most common causes of a cat's changing meow, but many factors can cause a cat's voice to sound different. This includes cat flu, damage to the vocal cords, excessive meowing, and injury or pain. Cats can develop sore throats, which can cause a cat to gag and swallow hard, affecting its meow. A cat will also change the tone of its meow to manipulate its owners. While a few things within that overview can seem a bit scary and serious, by and large, a cat's meow will change for the same reasons as our voice changes, if that eases your fears a bit. Have you ever eaten something and it sort of hurt or tickled your throat and caused your voice to change for perhaps just a few minutes? Have you ever spent most of the day just talking too much for whatever the reasons and concluded that day with a raspy voice? I could probably give 20 other examples and they would all be very familiar to you. Well, cats are somewhat the same. Too much vocalization during the course of the day, perhaps some dry food that got the best of them, even a dry throat from a long nap. All of these factors can play a role in causing your cat's meow to be just a bit off. The bigger issues are the ones of most concern. It's really all about duration and other symptoms. If your cat's meow has changed suddenly and stayed that way for several days, there could be something bigger going on beyond the reasons we have just named. Let's take a deep dive. But before we do, we would like to thank you so much for joining us today. It is always very much appreciated. The hoarse voice. Without delay, it should be stated that excessive meowing is the most obvious reason. Too much strain can cause hoarseness. Laryngitis can also be a culprit. This is caused by inflammation to the larynx. Irritation such as dust, smoke, too much meowing, as we've mentioned, and the onset of an upper respiratory infection can cause laryngitis. Cats can certainly suffer vocal issues due to illness in the same way that we can. Even if the illness is not serious, it can impact a cat's meow. Just like a common cold can impact our speaking voice, cats can get a sore throat. Trauma, although a bit rare, can also be a reason for this occurrence. A growth on the larynx can also cause laryngitis. Not to be confused with a hoarse tone, a low pitched meow can be one of purpose, especially if your cat is unhappy or upset. This sound can speak to a cat's mental state. However, if the low pitch seems to remain constant, then a respiratory issue could be at play. Is your cat coughing, sneezing, lethargic? Does your cat have runny eyes? It's important to take in the full picture. If your cat is showing signs of illness, a trip to the vet could be in order. What about the opposite? High pitched meows, screams, if you will. This could be a sign that your cat is in pain, especially if the tone just doesn't seem to let up. Constant yells are a cat's way of saying, "Help me." Several months ago, my cat dealt with anemia. Prior to treatment, he would scream more or less as I would approach. The sound was that of a meow, but it was in a loud, directive tone, almost like I was being given orders to fix a problem. Some cats will do a one off loud meow in an effort to be cute or get attention. Loud meows that go on for more than just a few minutes are not normal, however. Cats do not bark, and some loud meows can almost enter into a barking territory. In some instances, loud meows and hoarseness can come together, and perpetual loud meows can eventually cause your cat's voice to suffer due to the strain. Loud meows demand attention. This is your cue to act. Cats, yeah, they can chirp and make little squeaks. These sounds are often used to get our attention. Most of the time, cute little squeaks are used to indicate happiness. They are not permanent, so they're just meant for our pleasure. Having said that, if your cat's normal meow has been replaced with a constant squeak, then some form of vocal cord damage could be the issue. And although extremely rare, some felines are born with defective vocal cords. Instead of a meow, an affected kitten will be able to muster nothing more than a squeak. This squeak will likely maintain throughout life. Just like the human voice, a cat's voice can change with age. Even a senior cat in relatively good health will endure these changes simply due to the weakening of the voice box, although it can be subtle, barring a sudden decline in general health. Cognitive decline, hearing decline, and even visual decline can also cause changes. Cats can become more vocal and more distressed, and it can be reflected in the sound of their meows and how often they meow. Before we close things out today, it's important to be mindful of hairballs or fur balls. This goes for cats of all ages. While it's rare for hairballs to get 100% lodged in the throat, either going down the passage or coming back up, the hacking that is triggered by fur balls can irritate the throat, thus causing your cat to sound hoarse. Encourage your cat to drink water and or consume wet food if this occurs. This will help to soothe your cat's throat and resolve irritation, thus bringing your cat's normal meow back to life. And on that note, that will wrap things up for the video portion of this material. However, as always, if you'd like to know more, please be sure to visit us at seniorcatwellness.com at the conclusion of this video. There you will find a highly detailed article that will cover what we've discussed today and so much more. So, if this topic does appeal to you, please be sure to check out our full-length article. Are you currently watching us off-site? If so, we encourage you to click the initial link in the description box below. Said link will take you to all of the important information. And until our paths cross again, and I certainly hope they do, we'd like to thank you once again for joining us today. Please have a wonderful day. All the best to you and yours, and we will talk to you later.